It's a parochial crowd. You know which way they're leaning. Melbourne about to get the Sydney reception. There's Jesse on camera now, his 5th grand final appearance. He's only one of the experienced players that I was alluding to. He and his brother in the side. He's now almost as seasoned as his elder brother. It's going to be one hell of a game. It's going to be a cracker of a game. Cameron Smith, of course, his 8th grand final. I'll have time during the match to patronise him. And now the Penrith side, with 8 of them in the 17 that played in the 2015.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the heart of our game is the community, and tonight we celebrate this unforgettable season and the extraordinary work our players do both on and off the field. In grand final tradition, we'll now announce the NRL's Man of the Year, who receives the prestigious Ken Stephen Medal, and the NRL's Woman of the Year, who receives the Veronica White Medal. It's an honour tonight to congratulate Connor Watson from the Newcastle Knights and Georgia Hale from the New Zealand Warriors for their outstanding work in our community in 2020. Rugby League has the power to change lives, and we thank you for your contribution, and we welcome you to this honoured fraternity. And now, please stand for the national anthem, to be performed tonight by Chloe Zool.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is good by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia
So the players disperse out onto the park, and Melbourne will be defending the southern end of the ground in the first half. Penrith down at the river end as the crowd settles after the official ceremony has been completed. Jared Sutton, his 6th grand final and his first on his own been a season, of course, of changes to the rule book. And, of course, the 6 again was one of them. Melbourne and Penrith both in their final huddle. Two sides that have never met here at ANZ, nor played in finals against each other before. Melbourne, of course, the winners of 3 premierships. They actually won 5 grand finals, but they took 2 away for salary cap issues. But they've won 3 premierships. This is their 10th grand final. They're only 23 years old, and they won the premiership in their 2nd year. Whatever you might think of them, they certainly deserve the plaudits they get for being, these days, recognised by many people as the benchmark of rugby league teams. Nathan Cleary, 5 Origin matches. Jerome Hughes in the headgear. So let's get this thing on. Enjoy it. Grand Final 2020, the bounce of the ball. Almost finding touch inside the 10-metre line. Now it comes loose. So players all over the place.
Knock on Melbourne.
Knock on Melbourne.
Well, that's an explosive start. The kickoff from Nathan Cleary wobbled around. Jerome Hughes went to attack it, decided to let it bounce. And what do we say? If you let the ball bounce, you invite disappointment into your life. And from there, it's just a scramble. Branko Lee tries to get it in field. Panthers heading towards the sideline. He throws it away. There's a bobble in the retrieval. And the Panthers will go straight on the attack, 10 metres out, centre field with a scrum. That couldn't have gone any better for the young Panthers.
Middle field scrum here. There's 5 attackers on the right, up against 4 defenders for the Storm.
So it's come away to Luai, and he turns it back into his fullback, Dylan Edwards. And Edwards to play the ball 10 metres out. Melbourne would probably dispute that ruling of a knock-on. It's gone back and away from Cleary to kick out. Kick out playing left side, left edge. And then from Coruscant, finding Cleary, turning it in for Yo. Isaiah, 8 metres out. Coruscant again for Cleary to the right, back into the middle, finding Fisher Harris. And now they go back and they find Yo again. He's a demon for work. He could play 80 with no problem. Cleary then with a deft kick just out from the line, came back to a Melbourne player, Ken Bromwich, and he'll play it 15 out from his own line. So Melbourne diffuse that set, that attacking invitation that went to Penrith off the kickoff from Nathan Cleary. A big run by Solomona, a sofa Solomona, and a run for Hughes now. He's 38 away from his own line. They're just getting their breath back, Melbourne. Their composure might be a better word. That's Welsh. So Smith at 9, of course, the great one, his 430th game. If you add his rep games, State of Origin and Test football, it comes to 528. An amazing achievement by Cameron Smith when Willie retired. Coruscant. Barging run by the Fijian, losing the ball. Played by Jesse Bromwich. Nilsson. And so for Solomona now. They're just inside the 30-metre line. They're attacking Penrith's end of the ground, the river end. Here's Welsh. 15 out now. 2020 grand final. Exclusive on 9 as it comes away from Hughes to Munster. Munster to Papenhousen. It's gone away for Adokar. He got the ball back inside. There's a Melbourne try on here.
Okay, you got no try.
I think it's Olam.
Okay.
It is.
That will be
It's
tackle
the
3, Chids.
young man
We
from
had no
Papua
try.
New Guinea.
Looking
Justin
at
Olam.
Justin Olam loses
Well, the referee's
ball
gone
and
up
trying
no
to get
try. Now either they're questioning whether or not the winger had a foot on the line or whether Olam has bobbled the ball. I believe there was a Panther foot in there as he tried to ground it. Let's have a look. Well, he's in field. There's no problem with the pass from Addo Carr. Now Olam will try to get this ball down, and I'm pretty sure there's a Panther boot comes into contact.
Josh Addo Carr releases the ball before going to touch.
No problem there. Olam tries to burrow in. I'll need another angle. You can see the boot there of Tyron May. Tyron May tries to get his leg down in front of the ball and he knocks it out.
He does.
He knocks it out. Now it's illegal. It's illegal to play at the ball with your foot.
Well, is this a penalty try?
I don't know whether they can award a penalty try. I'll be surprised if it's not a penalty, but there's no doubt that May plays at it with his foot.
Yeah.
Well, the ball's 6 inches from hitting the ground. If he doesn't put his foot there, they score.
Yeah.
So it's either a penalty in 10 minutes in the sin bin or it's a penalty try.
It's not the normal way that they would adjudicate indiscriminate kicking, because he's actually laying under him and he gets his leg.
Tyron May has used the foot to kick the ball out of the possession of Justin Olam. In our opinion, we believe a try would have been scored.
Hold your breath.
We have a decision.
Hold your breath. Hold your breath. Hold your breath.
So he's heading over under the uprights. It's a penalty try.
Well, that's incredible. I don't know what Tyron May could have done any differently there. It's not what I would call indiscriminate kicking, but the referee has ruled that he's played at the ball with his foot.
Yeah, but what he can't do is kick out with a foot at it, mate.
He was standing there. He didn't come and slide.
No, well, we believe he kicks at the ball, James.
Tarmow's arguing like I that he wasn't sliding. Harvey Norman replay. May's leg is there. He just outstretches it, and it's not only a bonus for the Melbourne Storm getting the penalty try. The conversion, instead of being in the corner, will be under the post. That's great vision from our corner post camera. But a startling beginning to the 2020 Grand Final.
And Justin Olam is the try scorer. He was buried in that cluster of players, and he's got the chance tonight, Justin Olam, to be only the 4th player from PNG. Hello to you up there. I know you love your game up there. He's the 4th player from PNG. If he wins tonight, Neville Costigan, David Westley and Marcus Bai, the other 3. So 4 becomes 6.
Waiting, Nathan. Still 5 seconds, mate. Keep behind it. Don't go early. Stay behind.
So welcome back to the grand final. And that penalty try was the first since Jamie Lyon for Manly in 2013. And of course, probably the most memorable of penalty tries was Craig Smith for Melbourne when they won the premiership in their second year in 1999. So now Melbourne, you would think cock a hoop, and that ball going forward.
Well, they're trying to play football from their own end of the field in wet weather. They have the advantage of a freaky start. They've got 6 on the board, but this is not the sort of football I would have expected in the early stages. And Olam comes up with the fumble. Chance for the Panthers to hit back. That's a stunning opening to the game, isn't it? Stunning.
Well, the kickoff was one thing, and then, of course, closely followed only a matter of a couple of minutes later by a penalty try to Melbourne. So they lead 6-0, and that is young Stephen Crichton there. 25 away from the Melbourne line. Can they level up? Oh, gee, that was a heavy tackle over the top by Asofa Solomona. Coruscant keeps burrowing, looking for the markers to part. 6 more tackles ordered by Sutton. He goes left, the dummy half, to Luai, who runs back to the open for Cleary to turn it into Tamo. The captain in his last His last game for Penrith, heading for West Tigers. He goes back on the inside for young Liam Martin. And Martin will play the ball. There's the line in front of him. Coruscant behind Tamo. It's gone on to Cleary. Found kick out. And it's been offloaded somehow or other. Luai got it back to Coruscant, and he's hit hard by Welsh. On the 10-metre line then. And Fisher Harris goes from dummy half. 2 metres out from the line. So now Melbourne under pressure again as Luai goes away to kick out. Good hands. There's a try out there for Mansour. Josh Mansour has scored in the southeastern corner of the stadium.
Have a try. Just clear the lead runner on the inside.
Now they'll check for obstruction here. There was a collision between defender and lead runner or decoy runner. I don't think it had much effect on the play. Luai, we see Crichton going through. I think that's a decision to make a tackle by Branko Lee. It hasn't affected the winger Vunivalu. I think Branko Lee gets himself in a position to tackle Crichton and is happy to make that tackle and then kick out.
Happy that the ball is caught outside of the lead runner. However, Stephen Crichton has run onto the outside shoulder of Branko Lee and affected his ability to defend the play. We have a decision.
Well, the Panthers are about to get their second bad news call of the night.
Yeah, that's why we got what we have.
So no try. You can prepare for most things, but can you prepare for a penalty try? And then this one, almost back-to-back, sideline Brad.
G'day, Ray. It's actually not a bad evening right now. The rain stopped at about 37 mil since last night. They've cut it nice and short, so the ground's very firm. So pretty good conditions to play footy in. Stephen Crichton had to know better. The hardest thing when you're playing Melbourne is attacking them when they're defending their own try line. They get off that quick. Very hard to judge where an inside shoulder is. It's also frantic. You need to attack them from further out, I believe.
Christian Welsh taking the first play off the free kick and play out towards the 40-metre line for Kafusi. So the blind side is chosen by Smith, and he goes to Asofa Solomona. He's grasped on the halfway mark. Now Bromwich, then away from Munster. It's gone to Papenhousen. He tries to go short into his second rower there, Kenny Bromwich.
Well, they're certainly spinning the ball here, the Melbourne Storm, at their own end of the field.
Well, they've managed to score 19 tries from their own end through the season, and 8 of those scored by Addo-Carr. The kick then from Hughes, down, taken by Edwards. He had an outstanding preliminary final.
You can see the game plan already for the Storm. Getting a lot of the numbers on the right side, getting their big man at Jerome Luai, then opening up the field, moving the ball wide to their left side. Big test tonight for Jerome Luai defensively.
To'o. Brian To'o. One of the youngsters that's played for Samoa. 4 of them, in fact, have played for Samoa. 10 New Zealanders involved in the grand final. As Cleary puts a kick high down the ground for Addo-Carr, not hard to recognise tonight. Little pom-pom. And probably playing his last game in Melbourne colours. 40-metre line, Brad.
Yeah, just interesting watching Josh Addo-Carr. He comes right out to the sideline, gets Brian Tyos nice and stretched, and then late in the set he moves in a bit tighter, see if he can get in at Nathan Cleary and Tyrone May.
So here's Jesse to the 40-metre line, the other end of the ground. They're down Penrith's end now. Munster trying to weave a passage. He'll play it 30 metres out. And Smith goes away on 5, puts a kick in. Munster's coming, but Edwards is there again. Oh, Hughes has had a grab around the neck. Mansour. He Can score tries, Josh Mansell, but he's a big additive to Penrith in situations like coming out of your own corner. Played by Tamo. Edwards with a run. Yo. He's maturing and becoming an outstanding player, Isaiah. Papenhousen runs at Luai. Manages to hang on. Fisher Harris slaving his guts out, really. Fisher Harris. He's a worker, Gus.
Yeah, Ray Andrew Johns wrote an interesting column this week about the two Penrith wingers, To'o and Mansell, saying that they would have to do a lot of work tonight and run a lot of metres for Panthers to win on the back of this very accurate kicking game from the Melbourne Storm. Andrew, they've got a big job, haven't they?
Big job. So on the back of these long kicks, which you'll see now from Cameron Smith, watch the outside players for the Storm fly down there, but it's the next two tackles after they get the fullback here, Dylan Edwards. Watch them go to work here with a strong defensive line. This is where the wingers need to get to work and make some metres for their forwards.
On his own 20-metre line. So Mansour, as I was just talking, comes in, takes a run, takes a little bit of work away from the forwards. And Kickoff is able to break the 40-metre line. Somehow he's passed from the ground out to penalty for passing from the ground after tackle.
He's getting Kickoff. He's isolating Jerome Hughes. It's the second time tonight early in the game. He got him with a big left foot step. This time the big Fijian. There's Jerome Hughes giving away about 10 inches in height. Look at that. Drops his head. Big left foot step from Kickoff. But then the ball goes down, hits the ground. Cannot play. Once that ball hits the ground, that arm carrying the ball, you have to get up and play the ball. Big threat on that left side Kickoff. So he got a big job defensively, Jerome Hughes.
Well, he hasn't played for 3 weeks. He might have forgotten the rule.
The Sofa Solomona. So Melbourne setting it up. And here's Munster around the back of Hughes. And the ball comes out. It's a knock-on, loose carry, and he'll put a scrum down.
Yeah, that's a big error. That's a big error in this game, the opening of this game. They found their groove early, the Storm. Got the feeling if this set of 6 went on, it could have been points. This is the key for the Panthers. They just have to hang on. Storm got a lot of momentum. The opening 13 minutes.
Well, it was actually the Panthers' good defence on the outside that made them play short there to Bromwich. There was an opportunity to go out the back to Papenhousen, but they had to play short, and then they forced the error. So that's great defence by the Panthers. Melbourne Storm defensive line here, very quick up.
Stephen Crichton is 20 years of age. He's the youngest on ground tonight. Hadn't had his second birthday when Cameron Smith debuted in 2002. Fisher Harris away out the back to Cleary. Cleary gets it out. That's Tyrone May trying to fend away from Munster. 30-metre line, Melbourne's end. Cleary, Luai, Tamau. 30-metre line still. Melbourne player in the road of the pass. And they rule play on. Non-intentional, I take it. Fisher Harris. The ball goes back. It's 6 more tackles. It's with Kickoff. The 2020 Grand Final, 6-0 Melbourne. Penalty try. Fisher Harris, 10 out. Coruscant then challenges. Yo. Went close, 6 more again. Coruscant away. Cleary then. Back to a second man. May gets it out. To'a is with the ball. Back to the 10 in the middle of the ground. What a pass by Tyrone May. Now it's away for Isaiah Yo, and he's 2 metres short. Coruscant looking around, listening for his playmaker. Here he is. Then he gets it on to May. May gets it away. Dylan Edwards, can he pass? He's going to take him on, and he's a metre out. So May away for Cleary. He goes long, inviting an intercept. Kickoff gets in behind Lee, but Lee comes again to make the tackle. Then it's from Luai. Luai away for Crichton. Crichton dives over. That's his 15th try, I think, for the year.
That will be tackle 5.
The way it's been
Has
going.
no try. Stephen Crichton.
There's a lot of indicators to no tries.
Well, they are absolutely stripping this Melbourne Storm defence on both sides. Look at the Melbourne Storm players. They're down. They're gassed. Crichton tries to burrow his way into the in-goal here. It's hard to imagine he's got to the line. Only the linesman on the other side would know. But they've stripped him on both sides of the field. The Melbourne Storm defensive line is in all sorts of trouble against this Panther attack.
Ball is grounded short of the line initially by Stephen Crichton and then goes up. And is still up at the conclusion of the tackle. We have a decision.
Well, they've held on there. If you watch that whole set of 6 from the high cam, Panthers are going to score 2-3 tries in that set of 6.
Head injury.
Incredible.
Head injury. Time off.
Melbourne Storm are really stretched here.
So Welch is going to the HIA. He took a bump down near the Penrith line about 5 minutes ago, and imagine being able to bring on a bloke called Dale Finucane off the bench. Wonderful player.
This is the last tackle, tackle 5.
So Cleary goes for the direction of the uprights, and a beautiful mark by Martin. Then it's gone to Luai, then to Cleary. He kicks again. Crichton puts a kick on it. Melbourne have got the ball though. Phenomenal passage of play.
Oh my God. What about the skill in all that lot?
It's not the first time we've seen Liam Martin go up like Kazali. And then of course Cleary kicked again, and I think Crichton might have kicked again. Brad Fittler sideline.
Brandon Smith just takes the field once again. Very hard to attack Melbourne on their try line. The thing what Panthers need now is to have the courage to just keep going, to stay in the game, not get nervous, because they will eventually break him. There's so much space on the outside of the Melbourne defence.
So Brandon Smith is on. Bellamy, Christian Welch under the HIA. 6-0 Storm, penalty try to them.
Driving out here today, this is the last thing I expected this sort of game. The opening 17 minutes, it's all out attack. Considering the rain we've had in Sydney today. Just the skill of the players.
I thought we were going to watch a game of water polo, but this ground is amazing. The drainage system, obviously. Here's Fisher Harris.
Now, you're looking at the 2 best teams in the competition, and both have got a lot of confidence. Neither team is thinking about losing here today. Neither team.
Kick out. Now they're 15 out. You heard it's the last tackle. That might have been a knock-on by Coruscant. He calls play on, and Cleary gets a bomb high. Oh! Crichton, I think it was, flying high above the pack. But Melbourne's Papenhousen comes up with the ball.
Well, Crichton took off on Wednesday. The ball didn't land till Sunday. He went very, very early.
Lee.
And the Panthers now looking to line up quickly and dish out some punishment of their own. They're walking Melbourne.
Luai, a grassing tackle on the 20-metre line on Finucane. And then Munster reefs a left foot kick. He's inside the 20, but it's been marked down on the 30 by Edwards. Beats one, comes to Cameron Smith. Lots of similarities between this young Penrith side and the side that won it in 2003. Of course, the father-son combination, a slice of deja vu. 25 away from the line then for Penrith. Both, of course, were minor premiers. Both were outsiders. Luai gets it on. Kick out with the ball. Gets it to Crichton. And Crichton, he'll play it inside the 20-metre line. Stephen Crichton. Big future. Luai, Coruscant, a show. Then Cleary behind, and it's gone out to Edwards, and now it's with To'o. And he's able to pass. It bounces for Penrith for Tyrone May. So they're 15 away. They're over on the western touchline, right underneath us as it's kicked by Cleary. Across towards Crichton. He goes up, he puts a bat on it, so does Kickoff. But Vunivalu swoops in. And Vunivalu will play the ball for Melbourne.
Yeah, well defended by the Storm there. Well defended by the Storm. They allowed the Panthers to play it at first.
So this is Kafusi.
This is breakneck speed. Breakneck speed.
Kafusi in a very conspicuous pair of pink shoes tonight. 40 metres out from the Penrith line. Played by Munster. Here's Brandon Smith. The Bulldog. The ball came out. It's picked up by Kickoff.
He's actually offside.
And
It
he's
goes
ruled him
into
offside.
a Penrith player, and he picks it up offside.
Wow.
It goes, he offloads it, it hits a Penrith player, and Billy picks it up in an offside position.
Since the 13th minute, it was all the Panthers. They had 4 or 5 sets attacking the Storm line. Here's the penalty. Brandon Smith charges forward, saying the ball is touched, and then Kickoff picks the ball up in an offside position.
We'll take a break. So welcome back to ANZ Stadium. You're watching the 2020 Grand Final in a year that, of course, started with bushfires and then became floods and then it became a pandemic. And this Grand Final, 6-0 in favour of Melbourne with a penalty shot from right in front, 33 up.
I was just watching the two Panthers on the left-hand side, Viliami Kickoff and Stephen Crichton talking. And as Crichton was talking to Kickoff, I've never seen him more focused or more in tune here, Kickoff, than he is here today. These two youngsters will be thinking about having a real say in the finish of this result. At the moment, the Panthers have had no rub of the green.
And the kick by Smith, it's there. Another 2 on the board for Melbourne.
There's Cameron Munster on the Telstra tracker. He's leading the intensity. Look at that, 116.2 metres per minute. Hasn't had much ball yet, Cameron, but a lot of running off the ball, both in attack and defence. The longer this game goes, that young man there will have a big say in who wins the game tonight.
Andrew, on their defensive line there, the Melbourne Storm, they look vulnerable to me. Like the Panthers look like they've got the answer to it.
When they sweep from one side to the other, they work to a sideline, then open the field up and transfer the ball quickly back to the other side. Both edges defensively for the Storm look really nervous. Freddie.
A couple of things from the sideline. First one is Melbourne have got a really good breeze behind them. It doesn't seem like it's going away. So the Panthers, we've still got 16 minutes to go in this half, so the Panthers could use that to their advantage in the second half. The other one is Nathan Cleary, when he's kicking, he's getting a lot less time than he normally does. He could be a little bit sharper.
There's the Bulldog again, Brandon Smith. And Fasua Malawi is out there now as a replacement for Craig Bellamy. As it comes across to Dale Finucane, then Munster, then Papenhousen. And it's gone away to Kenny Bromwich, this left edge second rower for Melbourne. Playing it a few metres into Penrith territory. Josh Addo-Carr backs away from Tyrone May before being taken by Coruscant and Cleary. Addo-Carr, one of the Dally M wingers of the year.
Not played
Last
out.
Monday. Not played out is the call, and it's going to be a feed for Penrith.
Yeah, the Storm got themselves into a bad position here on tackle 5. Cameron Smith knew it, so he came out the short side. He just wanted this to go into touch, and he kicked it straight into the feet of Liam Martin. Not played at, so Panthers will get a scrum feed.
To all you Melbourne fans tuned in tonight, we know it's been tough for you down there in isolation, but we certainly hope you're all doing okay and enjoying the coverage. You're leading 8-0. So I sense I can see a smile on some of your faces. 8 metres their own side of halfway. The men in black are taking it ahead. Oh, Fisher Harris. He was hit hard underneath. It was picked up by Finucane, in fact. Now kick out. He breaches the line, then loses the ball. And Hughes is able to pounce, giving it quickly to Papenhousen.
He's a weapon kick out.
Yeah, you can just see, he looks as though I said before, he looks more intense tonight than I've ever seen him. And he just keeps screaming for the ball. He thinks he can break this game open. He very nearly did there.
So he's isolating Jerome Hughes there, the number 7. And what that does, it makes the defenders either side of Jerome Hughes nervous, which is Branko Lee and Tino Fasuamalawi on the inside. So once they start creeping a bit closer to Jerome Hughes, the pass will be on the outside to Crichton or back on the inside, maybe to Dylan Edwards. Just a strike weapon on the edge, what it does defensively to the outside men.
Here's Papenhousen with the number 1 on his back. He's an example of perseverance in our game, Ryan Papenhousen. He always wanted to play fullback. They said he was too small to play at all. He struggled to get graded. Went to West Tigers, but he wanted number 1, and a fellow called Tedesco could play a bit. So Melbourne attacking now up towards the 30-metre line, and Hughes got it away. Kafusi had a handle. Ball went to ground, dived on by Kickoff, and Vunivalu cleaned up over there by Papenhousen.
Yeah, Brendan Smith, he's down in the middle of the field. He'll get hit after he passes the ball. You can see the super sub on the ground there.
Satisfied with penalty, mate?
His Kiwi teammate, Fisher Harris, comes up to apologise. See, the pass is passed, and then after he passes the ball, he relaxes, and that's where the players get whiplash. See his head twist back there.
Just on that play, if you can go to the high shot again, and watch how Steve Crichton is racing up really, really quick. We're going to have a break. Here it is. Watch Crichton go up very, very quickly. Gets in front of the ball. That's the second time that he's opened up that little corridor for Kafusi. Got to be careful with that, going up past the ball, the youngster. And Fisher Harris giving away the penalty there for the late shit.
So Brandon Smith it is coming off for an HIA. Brandon Smith is off. That's 2 of them, Christian Welch and Brandon Smith, both subjected to HIA. And Cameron Smith is going to take the shot at goal from pretty much exactly the same place.
There it is, Fisher Harris, bang, right into the rib cage there. Big hit. See how Crichton went up past the ball. That opened up a little avenue there for Kafusi to get on the outside of Luai. You've just got to watch that.
So Papenhousen, I was telling the story about perseverance. He went to West Tigers. There was Tedesco in his road, blocking the corridor. They went to Melbourne, and they lined up down there. The ones, Hughes wanted it, Drinkwater wanted it, so did Munster, and there was a bloke called Slater. But now Papenhousen has got the shirt, and I don't think they're going to get it off him real quick. Smith will take the shot from the same piece of turf, except with a T underneath it. On its way, touch judges. Yep. They haven't moved, the flags are up.
Stay behind it here, Brian.
10-0 in favour of Melbourne. A penalty try to start, a converted penalty try. And then 2 penalties from 32 metres out right in front for Cameron Smith to take another 4 points.
I think the Panthers are pretty fired up here. Nothing much has gone their way.
Finucane.
Just can't let emotions get the better of them. They're playing really well.
That's a Sofa Solomona. Jerome Hughes and now Felice Kafusi as Melbourne ruck it out from inside their own 30-metre line. Here's Fasua Malawi just outside the 30-metre line. Playing it back for his captain to go away to Munster. A bit of standstill passing there as it found Hughes. Down now to be brought back by Edwards. He'll get to the halfway almost. Taken out there by Brenko Lee and Big Nelson. Now it's in the hands over there of Josh Mansour, who was disallowed a try. So was Stephen Crichton. 6 more tackles. To'o. Welsh has passed his HIA. There's a shot of him on the sideline. And that's Fisher Harris. That picture might have come from Freddie's bubble camera.
Go 10! Go 10!
Fasua Malawi there. He's a big kid, born in Orange, played juniors at Gympie.
Well, here's the Panthers' chance now. They've had a number of opportunities to score. Now they've got to come in and nail one.
Luai to Cleary. Familiar. They've been together for a long time. It might have hurt him a little bit. Cleary turning it back into the middle for Tetavano. Grand final winner. 3 of them in the side, the dummy half Coruscant and Tamo the other. Here's Martin trying to break them on the edge. The kid from Temora. Out to Cleary with a wide ball and then a dummy and then a lost it ball inviting Vunivalu. Vunivalu down, up again, breaks the tackle. There's a chase on, but Vunivalu inside the 20. He'll run the length of the field almost. And the Fijian Vunivalu scores.
Well, this is just complete frustration for the Panthers, who again, all they could see out wide was space. When Nathan Cleary gets his ball, he's feeling
Vunivalu home.
Well, honestly, that right there is a 12-point turnaround. For all money, it looked like 6 to Penrith, and Vunivalu has stolen it from them.
Gus, it's a big test, as I said, for the young Penrith Panthers, but in particular Nathan Cleary. Biggest test yet early in his career against a team that gives you nothing. Young Nathan there, you can imagine the mind to be racing. He has to keep a cool head. 16 points in a big game. You can see the disappointment of the young man's face.
It's key though, Andrew, and the one thing that they've got to do at half-time for these young Panthers, regardless of what happens between now and the end of the thing, is that I honestly feel like the Panthers are on top. The run of the play, I feel like they're doing better than the Melbourne Storm, but the Melbourne Storm have been able to keep the scoreboard ticking with the penalty try and the penalty goals, and now an intercept. So the scoreboard's not as bad as what it obviously feels to them. They've got to go on the feel of the game. The feel of the game is they're well in it. The scoreboard's just not friendly.
So Smith it is, converting.
Get some contact here, Bucky.
Well, two things
Stay behind it.
with a rear end view of that performance by Vunivalu. The speed and the determination of Luai in almost a hopeless situation.
Well, I can tell you the Telstra tracker there, he got to a maximum speed of 33.5 kilometres an hour. That was after leaping in the air, landing on the ground and getting up and going. Maximum speed 33.5 kilometres an hour. My first car was a 64 VW Beetle. It couldn't do that.
That was with you peddling it. So here's Finucane. By the way, Welsh is back from the HIA and Fasua Malawi has gone back to the bench. So play is 5 metres inside Penrith's territory. They're down 16-0. But if ever their confidence has been dented, it's probably entitled to be that way right now. 2 tries disallowed, a penalty try, and then an intercept pass. Kick out. He wasn't tackled, I don't think.
Billy.
He got it away to Crichton.
Backwards Melbourne.
Backwards
Forward
by
from
Melbourne
Billy.
off Vunivalu, and then kick out picks the ball up and spills his lollies.
So Melbourne get the
Billy
feed,
straight
Andrew.
forward. You can
Nothing's
It's a
going
knock on
right
Bucky, correct?
for the Penrith Panthers.
shot clock on.
But once again, making a contest out of the ball, Vunivalu gets down. That's a big advantage.
Well, it wasn't knocked on. He actually threw a pass that was knocked down by a Melbourne Storm player. The ruling's wrong. The ruling's wrong. Where was the linesman on that play?
On the clock here, boys.
Kick out passes the ball and it's knocked down by a Melbourne player. He passes it and it's knocked down there by Kafusi.
No question.
Should have been play on, and Crichton was off with support on the inside.
Big set of 6 coming up.
So Melbourne with another chance with 6 minutes of the first half to go. So that's Welsh with the ball. 15 metres out from the line. That's Dale Finucane. So Smith across the face of Welsh. It's gone to Munster. Munster is 5 out from the line.
He's dangerous, isn't he?
So Bromwich away, long to Smith, out to Hughes, on to Papenhousen, and the little bloke is pulled down. 8 metres out from the line, played back to Brenko Lee, went to Jerome Hughes, a kick from Kafusi. Handover has been called.
Yeah, good defence. Melbourne Storm asked a few questions there, but the Panthers were up to it. They've got to hang in there. There's a long, long way to go in this game. And Melbourne Storm will know that the scoreboard is very flattering at the moment. They've still got a lot of work to do.
Tedavano. Don't forget Origin live and exclusive to 9 in 10 days' time. Starts in Adelaide, comes back to Sydney a week later, and then it goes to Brisbane for game 3, again 1 week later. So 40-metre line for Penrith. As we come inside the last 5 minutes of the first half, and Luai's got the ball. He puts a kick on it, goes down over the head of Vunivalu, but it bounces friendly for Papenhousen. Just outside the 20-metre line, the chase from Tedavano rewarded. And now at O'Carr.
Just quickly go down to Brad Fittler, Rabs. The talk in the Panther side, mate, are they still up for this?
Mate, there's not much talk out there at all. It's been a ferocious pace. Very little talk. The sideline's busy. They've been moving up and down. and been really constructive. But, mate, out on the field, no one's talking.
Hughes. And Welsh running a decoy. Kafusi didn't touch it. Brinko Lee has got the ball. We play it on halfway. Kafusi at dummy half, away to the 9. At the moment there's Smith at first receiver before Welsh. No gaining ground really as it finds Hughes again. In back play, Coruscant's gone down. And the ball goes down to Dylan Edwards on his own line. And here comes, I was about to say, the Purple Army. But they're wearing their white strip tonight.
Didn't they just crunch him there? That was a hard hit.
To'o upended and cartwheeled. And now Mansour.
Tough tacklers there. We can see Coruscant on top of the list there.
$16-0 the score. 16-0. And Brian To'o a forward pass. So Penrith coming out of their own 30-metre zone.
Well, this is what the scoreboard pressure is doing to Penrith. They go for a shift, coming out of trouble off no-go forward. So the defence of the Storm is ready. Tyro May gets the ball. To'o is just too flat. He had some depth there. The ball was on, but the outside defence, Olam, rushes May and the ball goes forward.
Yeah, you're right, Joey. That's a scoreboard pass. That's being down 16-0 and thinking you've got to come up with something. The first job here in the next 2.5 minutes for Panthers is not to concede again. They've got to get into the dressing room with their coach.
Papenhousen lassoed there by Luai. Tried to ragdoll him, but didn't want to participate. Now Welsh. 11 at their side from 2 years ago. And 9 from their last grand final win in 2017. Still in this side tonight for Melbourne. Experience as it goes from Munster to Kafusi. Munster again, they're working in that corner, and Lee is upended by Crichton. 6 more is called by the referee.
That was on tackle 5.
Hughes. And now the referee, he's giving a penalty to Melbourne.
The leg pull breaks down the play.
Well, he'd already given 6 again. Melbourne Storm did not need that penalty.
Pull breaks down the play.
Yes, I think he's correcting his own mistake, really, because you have to give a penalty for a leg pull because the ball becomes out of play. I think, I might be wrong, but I think Gerard Sutton is correcting his own mistake.
Yeah, but they had the run of the play. They were still going. This just gives the Panthers defensive line a rest. There's a time to be officious and there's a time to watch what's going on.
I understand what you're saying, Gus. I'm just reading out from the rule book. That's it.
I know you love your rule book, don't you? Rule book.
Well, Cameron Smith used to sleep with his football and his boots on. I go to bed with the rule book. and my darling wife. She's there as well.
There's a line there that I won't use it.
I know you won't. Live and exclusive tonight. We can't carry on like we normally do. Sofa Solomona a couple of metres out from the line now. Danger, danger, danger. It's with Papenhousen coming off his right foot. Now he runs a half circle and Coruscant is there to pull him down. Getting some help from you-know-who.
30 seconds.
Yo, here is Munster. Now Finucane. And a 2-man, 3-man Penrith tackle. Puts the former Bulldog to ground. Smith away for Nelson. So far, Solomona. And he's short. 5 gone, though. Oh, knocked out of the grasp of Smith. This will be interesting.
Okay,
this might be a try for the captain.
That will be last tackle. Have no try.
No try.
Just confirm that Cameron Smith is a loose carry and knocks the ball on and that there's no strip.
Well, Big Nelson plays the ball in about 2 seconds.
Let's have a look here. Well, it's actually knocked out of his grasp by Coruscant.
He plays at the ball.
It's knocked out of his grasp. He didn't hit his hands and lose the ball. It's actually punched from his hands by Coruscant. You can't call that a loose carry because he's about to pass. That's played at by Coruscant.
Possession held by Cameron Smith, and the ball is knocked out of his grasp by Api Coruscant.
Yeah, hold your breath
playing
again.
onto his point.
Hold your breath again, Panther fans.
Clean pick up by Cameron Smith.
Hold your breath.
They're going to overrule this referee.
Hold your breath.
And he grounds the ball in the in goal. We have a decision.
Incredible. Incredible. Right on the stroke of half-time. Try. Another punch to the solar plexus for the Panthers. Penalty try. Length of field intercept. And that little scrambling effort right on half-time. Harvey Norman.
We see the great man. I hope not. But what a half a footy from the Storm.
Well, they've been very gutsy to Storm. They had a lot of defence to do on their own line.
That's his daughters, isn't it? That his daughters?
Yeah.
So Cameron Smith has got an absolute bag full out of the first half. Right in front, converts his own try, and the Storm go to a 22-0 lead as half-time is called. Cameron Smith, a try, and he hasn't failed with any of his kicks.
Welcome back to ANZ Stadium. Half-time almost over here with the Storm leading the Panthers 22 points to nil in the NRL Grand Final. Our commentary team will be good to go despite having a bit of fun with Macca's earlier. They're done with their Macca's chicken. We to them in just a moment. First, the Panthers coach, Ivan Cleary, is with Bradley.
So there's only one question, Ivan. Do the players believe they can win?
Yeah, I mean, obviously didn't go quite to plan in the first half, but I think it's important that we score next. But that doesn't have to be straight away, and we can't concede another point, another try. So we can do that, then anything can happen. We get some momentum going. So that's the goal at the moment. That they don't score again, and we're next to score.
Good luck.
Thanks, Freddie.
Great atmosphere here ahead of second half action, exclusively live on 9. Back to our commentary team led by the one and only Ray Warren.
Thank you, Brace. Cameron Smith in that first half, just repeating what they told you during the halftime break. He broke the grand final point scoring record. It was held by Eric Sims at 41 as Penrith come back. But Cameron Smith with 14 personal points here has broken that record. Another record goes to Smith. He's now on 44 and counting. But of course, if you follow Penrith, and plenty of you do, you'll be hoping that Cameron doesn't improve on the 14 that he's got right now. So Ivan Cleary making it clear that we can't let them score again, and obviously it'd be desirable to be the first to score in the second half. Melbourne, the pendulum swung beautifully for them, taking nothing away from their professionalism. They're a great side. As Cameron Smith starts the second half, the last 40 minutes I would expect of our major rugby league for this year. And of course then Origin takes up the next sector of our programming in rugby league, with 3 live and exclusive matches starting next Wednesday week. So here's Isaiah Yeo out to the 20-metre line for Penrith. Repeating, 22-0 to score, and the Storm open the account with a penalty try to Justin Olam, a youngster from Papua New Guinea. A penalty try. It really knocked the confidence around for Penrith, but then it got worse as they had a couple of tries disallowed. And here's Papenhousen on the return. And Papenhousen picked up on the human chair and taken back. Held by Kickoff finally. Here's Adokar going over to work on that left side of the ground now. He's 35 out from his own line, crawled a couple of metres. Referee said go back. And Ted Ivano's kept putting a hand on him. That's a penalty straight up, really, putting a hand on the man playing the ball. But here is Smith then going away for a Sofa Solomona, this big man.
He's been the best tonight for the Storm.
Finucane taken by Kickoff, got it away to Hughes, in and away and down, tackled by Luai. 5 gone then for Melbourne, they're inside the 40, and Munster puts a kick end on end, and Edwards will watch it.
Well, that was Melbourne Storm's best set of 6 coming out of trouble all game. They've struggled to get out of their own end of the field, but did it pretty comfortably there. A couple of little shifts to the ball, Sofa Solomona come up with a good run, and then Munster finishes it off with a good kick. Not many Melbourne Storm fans here tonight, but they're in front. They're cheerful, those that have made the trip. Well, those locals here in New South Wales and come out to support their team. And the Panther contingent pretty quiet at the moment. Not much has gone their way.
Massive lead for Melbourne. And it's certainly going to take a lot to play catch-ups and level this situation up. 22-0 in favour of Melbourne. Liam Martin. Here's Yeo, stepping his way outside the 30-metre line. Playing it back to Coruscant. Now for Cleary, then for Martin again. Cleary. It's a high kick, still coming down. Bouncing in front of Vunivalu. Sorry, Gus.
It was a good kick on the back foot. He was under plenty of pressure. He got plenty of that.
Brad Fittler, of course, will fill his squad. So will Wayne Bennett fill his squad after this match tonight. Brenko Lee. Finucane only knows one way to go, and he goes straight ahead, full rudder. Dale Finucane. Welsh. Munster was trying to catch it past the ball. It's loose, it's knocked on. The touch judge makes the call. Penrith get a feed. Here's a chance coming, 35 metres out. Taking it across to the centre of the ground.
They have to stay composed here, Penrith. They'll be looking at the scoreboard thinking we need to score, we need to score. The young man there with the ball in his hands, he's a reflection of his team. He's nice and cool. Up against a fresh defensive line for the Storm to try to take fuel out of their petrol tanks. You need to try to run them around.
3 times they've trailed at half-time. They've won all 3, Penrith. Luai for Crichton. Stephen Crichton. On the 30-metre line, Melbourne's end of the ground. And that is Leota. There's another of the 8 that played together in 15. Referees been tipped to knock on.
Challenge it.
So there's a challenge.
Okay, Chids. Penrith are challenging the ruling of a knock-on in the tackle by Moses Leota.
Well, it's early to use the call, but it is a vital part of the game. It's dangerous when front rowers say they haven't done anything wrong. Let's have a look. There's a hand on the ball. The ball didn't come out there, and it comes out the other side. So he's got it there, and then he loses it there.
Loose carry from Moses Leota. The ball is lost forward. Challenge unsuccessful.
I'd like to know the stat on front rowers challenging referees' decisions.
No more challenges.
So would Josh Mansour.
The wingers haven't been much better.
No. Apparently he's copping it from all angles, Josh Mansour. Don't go anywhere at full time. We'll announce the completed Blues and Maroon squads for State of Origin. New South Wales coach in the bubble, I should explain that. Here's Papenhousen. He's made a break over halfway. Pappy's on his way again. They're not improving. Melbourne take first points in the second half. Ryan Papenhousen.
Well, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. While the Panthers had their heads down over the error, Papenhousen with a little bit of a shimmy and a whoosh just splits them. This was heads down stuff from the Panthers. It might have got the better of them. Ryan
Of a start.
Well, you know if he has or he hasn't, Bradley.
He has, Gussie. Right there, baby.
There you go. Ryan Papenhousen will be added to the New South Wales squad.
Well, how's Tedesco's knee, Freddie? Will he be right for game one?
He's been, he's rehab. He stayed in Sydney for 4 or 5 days, came up with the South and Canberra players. He'll be training on Monday, so he's really confident. He's very particular about his rehab. He puts everything to it. Every time you see him, he's doing something about his body and getting it right, so he'll give it every chance.
So if Tedesco does play, the young man on screen there, Papenhousen, could he fill that number 14 jersey?
Yeah, well, there's a couple of options. Clint Gutherson also, I think he finished second on the Dally M list, so got a couple of really good options. But Ryan Papenhousen, the way the Melbourne Storm have played him, plays him through the middle, also a fullback in different positions. And he's a great one from the sideline.
This is to equal Harry Bart's personal record of points in a grand final. He misses.
Waiting, Nathan, still 5. Wait, stay behind it.
Welcome back. And final at 26-0 now. Courtesy of that runaway try by Ryan Papenhousen.
Well, we saw Vunivalu on the Telstra tracker earlier, got to 33.5 kilometres an hour. Ryan Papenhousen, 35 kilometres an hour. With that 60-metre sprint down the sideline, 35 kilometres an hour. That's swift.
Faster than the Beetle.
Oh, yeah. Overtakes the Beetle.
John Lennon.
This is Welsh getting it up towards halfway, middle of the ground. And Addo-Carr just can't handle it.
Well, they've gone to this play, I reckon, half a dozen times tonight, and they've come up with an error every time. Ivan Cleary has reacted to that Papenhousen break. He's going to bring Brent Naden back and play him at right centre, and I'd imagine it was Tyrone May that will leave the field.
Tyrone May, growing up, Gus, did he play much centre?
No.
There's an injury here. Big Nelson Asafa Solomona is coming to the sideline. He has been incredible tonight. Both in attack, we know what damage he can do in attack, but defensively tonight, for a big man, he's incredibly agile, making some really telling tackles.
Well, he's had to come to the sideline because there's a scrum. They can't replace him at a scrum, which is an archaic rule they have to get rid of. So he's had to go back out there injured.
So Mansour being dragged along the ground. Penalty now, hand on the ball.
10 metres.
He's indicating it was a 10-metre
Stay behind
penalty.
They're
offside.
He's coming off the field now. Big Nelson holding that. Is it the left wrist or the left arm?
Brandon Smith goes back into the game as Cleary goes away out to Tyrone May. And the pass that might have been a little bit suspect to Liam Martin. Coruscant sweeping it back to Cleary. Luai with the ball. Kick out now. Trying to bust them on that right edge of Melbourne's. 10 metres out. Coruscant. Whistle. And the ball is lost. So Melbourne high-fiving at 26-0 the score.
Well, they're out of challenges. Again, kick out. Pokes the ball through the line. Puts it on the ground. Because he touched it a second time, I'd imagine.
A lot of errors, attention to detail errors. Gus, do you put that down to nerves or the conditions or a bit of both?
Scoreboard. I think the scoreboard's got into their heads now. It's just, it would have been very hard for the coach to lift them after what they experienced in that first half. They would have felt they were in the contest, but everything ran against them, and they're down 22-0.
Telstra are proud to be the naming rights partner of the NRL Telstra Women's Premiership. And we appreciate Telstra, believe me. People in television, in rugby league. Without them, we might not have a product. So the penalty goes to Melbourne.
Yeah, it's danger signs now for Panthers. You can. Now Tyrone May's still on the field. Naden's gone out there, so I can only assume Tyrone May's moved into the forward somewhere. But you just get the feeling they're losing touch here mentally.
What year was that, Harry Bath? 57, was it? Yeah. Harry Bath. 16 individual points in a grand final, and Cameron's had one shot to level.
Liam Martin coming off the field.
He's been struggling for a while. Kate Ball will go out to the right edge.
So Smith is short and around the back to Christian Welch. 30 metres away from the Penrith line. Hughes behind Finucane to Munster and then to Papenhousen, now to Olam. And Justin gets a ball away for Ken Bromwich. Bromwich, the younger of the two, plays the ball. Munster goes long, away to Smith. Welsh ran decoy. Hughes locks the ball out the side there to Vunivalu. 15 now. Penrith under siege again. Kafusi out at first. Smith at second. Brandon Smith. 20 metres out in the middle. Smith was going one way, came back to the right. Welsh Hughes taps the ball in, and coming is Vunivalu. He's got his second try of the grand final.
Okay.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Chids coming up the tackle 5. Have no try. Just reviewing the grounding from Suliasi Vunivalu.
Referee saying he might have bobbled this, but the effort to get there was worth it. Watch this.
Storm kick chase error onside.
He'll run past Mansour. Mansour hoping it goes. Vunivalu.
Contact between the two players is cleared, and Suliasi Vunivalu knocks on in the end goal. We have a decision.
Not even close. But his desperation to get there was worthy of a try.
And what a kick. Jerome Hughes. He's the decision. No try. Jerome Hughes, without doubt the most improved player in the competition. They are just an incredible club, aren't they? Freddie?
Well, that's another one of those scoreboard plays. Josh Mansour was just hoping it was going out. You could hear Vunivalu coming, but he just couldn't get it. He just wanted it to go out so much. The scoreboard just playing with their minds.
This play just outside the 30-metre line. Played there by Capewell, who's out there for Martin. Liam's grandfather here in the crowd tonight, Max Gordon. Had a note from the family during the week telling me the 87-year-old was on his way. Played in the very first game that I ever broadcast at Bar Medman.
That'll be the Mark Cup.
It was the Mark Cup, you're quite right. Bar Medman, West Wyalong. And so Leota with one of his trademark runs just outside the 20-metre line. Swept away for Cleary. Goes searching, but Welsh is around the legs. So here is Yo tapping it in. Picked up by To'o.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking back in here as well.
I don't know.
You can't run around
You've
your
got
own
no try
player.
here? Okay.
I think that's why he kicked it, Andrew.
Okay, Chids, that will be tackle 3.
Isaiah,
We have no try.
he'll get the
First
ball.
of all, looking if the defence is disadvantaged on the inside here prior to the kick by Isaiah Yo, and then touchline to grounding, mate.
Isaiah, he's looking to play, pass the ball out the back to Tyrone May. The outside defence for the Storm will read this and come up to close it off. Look at Olam. He can't go behind and have a double dip there. He goes behind because the outside defenders solved the problem he put to the Storm's outside defence.
Well, he would have to kick it before he ran behind Capewell, and I don't think he does.
Well, he goes behind.
Capewell comes through, miscommunication.
He goes behind.
He kicks it because he knows he's done the wrong thing. So that'll be a penalty. It won't matter what To'o does here.
Munster's arms go up appealingly.
Watch Olam. Left to screen. He comes up and solves the problem. So he double dips and goes in behind. You
Isaiah Yo has kicked the ball not clearly on the outside of the, sorry, on the inside of the defender, and has not disadvantaged the defence playing on to this point.
Well, this, if they've brought a try here, it is.
It is.
Well,
Well, they don't know the rules.
he,
They don't know the fabric of the game.
he's got the rule wrong. He's got the rule wrong.
It's from a pure rugby league point of view.
Well,
They
this is
don't
now.
understand what happens with putting a question mark to the defence. The defence solves it. And he runs behind the back of his player. This is an out-and-out obstruction.
Well,
Looking to determine Brian To'o has
they've
remained in
dealt
the
with
field
that,
of play,
and they're
has
dealing with
grounded the
Brian
ball.
To'o now. He looks like he's come down on the line.
Yeah. I think he's grounded it okay. I don't think he's touched the line.
He's got the ball on. The ball's on the line. It's,
But the bunkers made
On the
it.
screen on the left, Brian To'o has got the ball to the goal line, and on the right, he has remained in the field of play. We have a decision.
But on the bunker's wrong. The bunker is wrong because Yo has clearly run behind Capewell. He knows he's run behind Capewell. That's why he kicked it. He knew he was going to get penalised.
But it's a try for Brian To'o.
behind his own player.
So here's Nathan from the sideline. You can see for yourself how acute it is. Hits the upright and it's up. It's there. It's 26-6.
Time your run here, boys. Thank you.
Well, welcome back to the stadium. ANZ, the Olympic Stadium, hosting the grand final, naturally being Rugby League headquarters. It wasn't going to be this way when this year of uncertainty fell upon us. It was actually rostered for the SCG from memory, and this stadium was going to be refurbished. 21 years, I think it is, since they first brought the game here.
A couple of years ago, these young Panthers, as they were developing, they used to give away big starts regularly, although that's not going to help. And there was a number of games that they ran down big leads and ran away in the end.
Unfortunately, Cameron Smith wasn't playing in the under-20s at that time.
It wasn't against the Melbourne Storm either. Let's have a look at this. Now, what would Craig Bellamy think of this, I wonder? Craig Bellamy? Yeah, what I said.
Well, everyone who knows the game knows that that is not a try. You cannot do that. You cannot run behind one of your own players and take advantage.
Here's Olam.
Anyway, they're on the board.
This is Bromwich.
Panthers cannot afford to concede another one.
Smith running across and turning it back in for Papenhousen. Inside the 20-metre line, the fullback. Finucane stepping off his left foot. Running back into the traffic. Put down by Yo. Now for Hughes. And he went short to Kafusi, and Papenhousen came through on the inside. 5 gone for Melbourne, leading 26-6. Smith for Finucane kicking. And it's marked out there by Josh Adokar.
Hand over.
Poor Dale Finucane. I could see him getting nervous from here. Somehow the ball goes to him on the last play. It wasn't actually a bad kick.
Well, he'll penalise here, surely.
You can't lift and carry. Yep.
Once you've lifted, he's supposed to call held, and I believe he did. This is Naden. Brent Naden took a stat into the game of being only in winning sides all year long. Here's Cleary getting it back for May, and May to Luai. Luai trying to duck and weave. His arm didn't touch the ground. Gave a pass, but that looked like it came off Crichton. It's bounced away from Mansour.
There's a knock on. There's a knock on. They're just going about this wrong, the Panthers.
In the middle, boys.
There was 2 passes here that weren't on. And they've just handed advantage back to the Storm, who are slowly grinding them into the ground now. They're great front runners, the Storm. Once they get their knee on your throat, they let very few sides out of it.
Don't miss our post-match show. We'll break down all the big moments. And aren't there some from tonight's game? You'll hear all the raw emotion from the players at full time, and we'll also reveal the full 2020 State of Origin squad. So stay with us after full time. So Bromwich. And the other Bromwich, and then Finucane was hit hard by kick out. He's getting up very, very slowly, Dale. It hurt. He certainly took a bruise. And here's Munster with the ball now. 57, nearly 58 minutes gone, as Big Jesse takes it up towards the 10. Valu out leapt there by Crichton, but the ball has gone back to Penrith. It came off a foot, and it's play on. So Mansour.
The Storm's defence on the two Penrith wingers has been good tonight. Haven't given up many metres to them at all. And usually they go back to back. You can see again there Mansour and then Tora. Now a mistake.
Advantage applies to Melbourne.
Time off. It's HIA. Tackle 0 there with Cameron Munster. Time off. HIA. They called it before you dropped the ball.
They are an incredible club, the Storm. Over the last 5 years, they've lost a couple of champions. Cooper Cronk, their halfback. Billy Slater, the greatest fullback we've ever seen. But there's no hangover from that. And they've evolved. They've totally changed the way they play, which suits the new players in the key positions. They are just an incredible club.
So it was Finucane. It was Finucane who was directed to the HIA. It came over as though it was Munster, but it was Dale Finucane. And here it is with Munster, turning it back on the inside for Bromwich. 5 metres out from the line at the southern end. Melbourne 20 in front. It's gone away there to Brandon Smith. Throws a long torpedo pass out to Addo-Carr. Addo accepting it on the bounce. Naden making the tackle. Melbourne close.
Josh, tackle 3. Back up, Josh.
Telling Addo-Carr to back up.
Tackle 3.
Return to the mark.
Time on.
The tackle was made and Smith comes away to Papenhousen. He's in everything tonight, isn't he? And now he surrenders. 15 metres out from the Penrith line. It's gone away to Brandon Smith again. And it's gone to ground, picked up then by To'o, but Sutton calls it up. Penalty
Brett
now.
Naden, 10 metres. Brett Naden. Offside.
Well, look at Cameron Smith.
Yeah, he wouldn't be happy with what they're doing at the moment, nor is the coach.
Look at the standards.
Yeah.
He's not happy.
Yeah, well, if the assistant coach doesn't get the message through, the head coach takes over. And he wouldn't be happy with just the ragged style they're playing at the moment. 20-point lead. There's no guarantee. That's at least the way that the coach and captain will be thinking. Now Cameron Smith will want a much better structured set this time.
20-point lead and 20 minutes to go. Brandon Smith again. Will play the ball right in the middle of the ground, 10 metres out from the line. And it's away to Munster, came off the shoulder there of Fasua Malawi.
Well, don't cross to the coach's box now.
Mansour.
Craig Bellamy will be filthy on that one.
There's a one-on-one rake here.
One-on-one strip.
From Jesse Bromwich, but the ball...
Yeah, well, I think you've pulled it that way, Jesse.
Ball goes forward.
One-on-one
all
strip.
Legitimate. Mansour going forward.
Shot clock on.
Well, it's a shame we couldn't get 80,000 here tonight, but the crowd's done a good job. We haven't had our fans for the majority of the season. It's been a difficult year for everyone. But it was good that we could get 40 in here tonight.
State of Origin tickets, Gus, they go on sale from tomorrow for members and on Tuesday for the general public, with strict limitations, of course, on capacity. You should shop early, nrl.com/tickets, to make sure you don't miss out. Origin tickets tomorrow and then on Tuesday for the general public.
So Adelaide game 1, Sydney game 2, and then Brisbane game 3.
Luai, Crichton. 14 tries for the season, the 20-year-old. 16, I'm told by David in the background. Cleary, Edwards, now for Naden. 30-metre line. Cleary shapes to kick. I don't know whether Capewell was behind the kicker. Now it's come off kick out. Advantage applies. And Papenhousen goes away to Addo-Carr. Liam Martin back out there for Penrith. And that's Fasua Malawi. Giant of a man. He's not much smaller than Asofa Solomona, actually. Bromwich.
His metres gained. Papenhousen, 206 metres.
Well, 70 of that it was in one run, wasn't it? In a telling try.
Here he is again for Fasua Malawi.
6 more.
Brandon Smith. Brent Naden went in and missed him.
Cameron Smith is really trying to drive the standards out here. He wants them to grind the Panthers into the ground, give them nothing. So he shortened the game up a little bit.
All simple plays, big men rolling down the park.
He just wants a couple of sets where they get to a kick without errors.
Brandon Smith, his turn. Nothing at all fancy coming down the ground. Dummy half pass to a big man. Here they are finding the backs now. Kafusi's out there, comes to the fullback Edwards. He wins the battle. Ball going to Brinko Lee. Over the line, does he get it down?
Got it up.
I think Mansour does a great job here.
Tackle 5, Brinko Lee. Held up.
Brilliant football by the Storm. The pass to Kafusi was an absolute gem. Brilliant pass by Kafusi.
Walk away, Tino. Wait.
Got them into the backfield. Melbourne Storm have still got possession here.
Last tackle is called. And 26-6 the score in favour of Melbourne. Hughes goes back to his captain. And Smith runs around, kicks towards the uprights, and they've watched it go. They rolled the dice, probably didn't have any choice. And now it's a 20-metre restart. A 7-tackle set for Penrith with Dylan Edwards.
Release Jesse. Hold. Go 0, Jesse.
Top.
Hold. Go 1.
Capewell. Run onside last week. In place of Kickoff, here's Fisher Harris into the belly button there of Isaiah Yeo. Now Coruscant, and then Luai, and now Crichton, and then it's gone away to Mansour, away from, he tried to put a kick on it. So Melbourne come up with the ball, playing with the advantage. Vunivalu. Suli Asi Vunivalu. 1 try. I thought he had a second. He plays it on the 20. Brinko Lee. Melbourne will do the same again, I would imagine, with simple plays. Jesse Bromwich is in the breach at the moment. Here he goes. So one of the middles, Welsh, then the other. Bromwich, now Munster's clearing with the kick that's gone end on end down to Edwards. Passes before the 30, goes away to Mansour.
There's still plenty of energy in the Melbourne Storm. That kick chase was a good one. Cameron Smith has reined them in now. He's got them in ball control and kick and chase mode, just to take away any chance.
As the coach settled down. Here comes the ball. It's a penalty. A penalty against Melbourne.
You're on the ball to start with,
It's like an octopus in there. Cameron.
Look at this.
Papenhousen. He left the field of play to rake it back in field, and it's play on for Vunivalu.
Well,
that is a magnificent play by Papenhousen.
He was halfway up Parramatta Road. Look how far outside the field of play he gets here. He doesn't give up on it. Watch this. Oi.
My God.
What a play.
I said earlier he's been in everything, but now he's been on the high trapeze. He doesn't like heights either. Here's Kafusi.
Well, New South Wales coach Brad Fittler has told us he will be in the Blues squad after this game. We'll bring you the other ones at the end of the match, but That's a great reward for an outstanding season, Papenhousen.
Hughes, a kick that sits up for Edwards. "15 away from his own line." What an exhibition from Papenhousen.
Well, you're 20 points in front. There's only 15 minutes left to play. The opposition gets a penalty. A lot of fullbacks would just be back there trying to organise the defence for the next play. He's thinking about catching the ball or doing what he did. He leapt into the crowd to bring that back.
Ball travels out to Naden. Oh, he got a magic ball around to Cleary. Cleary bounces away from one, but can't handle the second.
That was brilliant football, wasn't it?
Brent Naden, wonderful pass. Now Luai, inside 30, gives the ball to Kickoff.
Once again, Nelson Asafa Solomona. Beautiful tackle on Kickoff.
Marcus, lock in.
Kickoff had some space then, but the big man just cut him in half. Watch this. Look, he doesn't give up on the play, keeps his legs moving. Kickoff, footwork, and just dives and cuts him in half. There's an error by the Storm.
Penrith then looking for anything they can grab, and here's Naden out of 1, out of 2, round 3, and he's taken in the fourth line of defence. 15 out from the line. Brent Naden plays it. It's come to Cleary, shows it to Tamo. Gone to Luai. Now to Crichton. Crichton's tried to break them. He has. Has he got the try though? I think he has.
That will be tackle 3. We have a try. It's confirmed grounding, kids.
Agrees for once.
Well, there was nothing doing there when he got the ball, Crichton. Branko Lee, really strong defender. It's a try.
He's a talent, this kid.
Oh, what a player he's going to be, or he is.
That's try number 17 for the season, I believe. That's a try. There wasn't much on. But
Stephen Crichton maintains possession of the ball and grounds it in the in goal. We have a decision.
But he puts such a move on his opposition centre. And then with the big long levers, just muscles his way to the in goal.
But Branko Lee was in a great position to defend him. He had him sized up. And it was 2 attackers on.
Sideline, it's there. '26 plays 12.
I just want to raise a point about Branko Lee defending on Crichton. Earlier in the first half, they penalised Crichton because he ran at the outside shoulder of Branko Lee. That's because Branko Lee does not want Crichton to cut back to his inside. So Branko Lee again there offered Crichton the outside shoulder. Crichton gets the ball and cuts back to the inside and score. But the obstruction play earlier in the game, he deliberately puts him on the outside. Well, this is the try now, and Crichton cuts back to the inside. He did exactly the same thing earlier on. Crichton didn't get it, and they penalised Crichton for obstruction. It's because the defender put him there. Crichton didn't run at the outside shoulder. The defender put him there because that's where the defender wanted to be.
10 minutes to go.
Yeah.
They can jag one here. The Panthers.
I've seen them do this
HIA,
before.
don't know where.
What have we got here?
No, it's just trainers holding up the game for no reason.
This was a tackle on Tamo off the kickoff.
This is wrong. The trainer has stopped the game from the sideline and run out to Kafusi to give his team a break. This is just wrong. This is just wrong.
It was the tackle off the kickoff.
Time on.
Comes out of the tackle and gets straight to his feet. There's nothing wrong with him.
Yeah, but they stopped the game. They stopped the game when Penrith were about to take the tap and ran out onto the field. They were nowhere near him when they stopped the game.
Yeah, Gus is right. The trainer was only just leaving the sideline. He wouldn't know whether Kafusi had to be HIA'd or not. But they stopped the game because the trainer indicated that it was a serious situation.
The next 5 minutes here is pretty crucial.
Here's Crichton, just a couple of metres away from the line, almost where he just scored. Kick out, Luai for Tamo, shows it back on the inside, the big prop, and he'll play the ball just outside the 10. So here's Coruscant, back for Cleary, puts a kick in behind, and Papenhousen is grasped in the field of play.
Okay, Cheds.
Kick out taken out.
Tackle. We've got Ryan Papenhousen tackled there for tackle 1. Have no try. Looking at a potential professional foul. Just look at Jerome Hughes' contact
Maybe
with
a
Billy
send
Army
in
kick
here.
out.
Let's have a look what happens to Kickow on the kick chase.
I don't think there's a chance of a penalty try. Kickow will chase on the Cleary run.
Panthers kick chase are onside.
Yeah.
He tries to trip him there. Well, I don't think Jerome Hughes interferes with him. He just runs into the back of him.
Kafusi will put a foot out, but he misses him.
Jerome Hughes initially turns towards the ball.
He pulls out of it.
And then steps into the line of Viliami kick out.
I think that's harsh, but...
Are they saying Jerome Hughes actually gets in his road?
Yeah.
Well, he had eyes for the ball, but then he changed his mind and decided
Due to the proximity of Ryan
to plant himself
Papenhousen,
in front of kick out.
We're not considering penalty try. However, the action is a professional foul.
Wow.
Well, that means Hughes will
We
be
have a
off the
decision.
field. They're down to
Hughes has got to
12
go.
men. We've got 9 minutes to go. These young Panthers will not give up here.
Little, very picky stuff, and we've got nothing.
Yep, thank you, Chids. Yeah.
Nothing, mate.
Well,
I get it.
listen,
Everyone wants an
I'll
exciting
talk to you about
game,
this decision.
But we're working just the same as them, right? Stop trying to pick little things out of our game to make an exciting finish.
Cameron,
Now, Queen's Counsel
Jerome initially turns towards the ball, but then he makes a movement back. It's a professional foul.
Yeah, Hughes is gone. The match has only got 9 to go.
Well, 9 minutes.
Jerome, it is now time for you to go.
That's around 5 sets. The Penrith
I've given you the explanation. That's it.
will get at the Storm. Maybe
we're now
more.
going.
Maybe
I've
5,
told
maybe
you
6
we're
sets.
playing on.
Well,
talk to me, Gus.
Game on.
Hang on a moment, yeah.
Game on. Look out.
Penrith, 5 metres out with Fisher Harris playing the ball. Cleary turning it in for Tamo. And Tamo wrestled down by Smith.
6 more.
And Jesse Bromwich, it's 6 more. And here's Coruscant. And Edwards thought he saw a gap coming. There's Martin. Got it away back to Coruscant. They're just off the 10-metre line. Back towards centre ground. It's gone to Tamo again. Cleary wants the ball badly. They go the other way and they find the number 1 Edwards. He flicks it to Coruscant. Now back to Cleary. Cleary tackled on that 10-metre line. Coruscant for Luai. He floats the ball for Mansour. They won't take that one off him, surely. Mansour has scored for the Panthers. They're coming back.
Don't go anywhere.
Checking for obstruction.
Don't go
That will be
anywhere.
tackle 4. Have a try. Just making sure there's no obstruction there.
No
on
obstruction.
Suliasi.
Vunivalu will rush from the wing to cut it off. Geez, Luai, this is a great pass over the top. Freddie.
Defensive decisions
Well,
by
that was
Storm players to go in cleared the contact on Suliasi Vunivalu, and ball is grounded the in goal by Josh Mansour. We have a decision.
That was the pass that Nathan Cleary went for in the first half, which Vunivalu took 90 metres to score the intercept try. There's a big southerly coming down here, so Nathan will want to put this out to the right and let the wind bring it back a little bit.
Gus, you said these young players have got a history of chasing down big scores.
I've seen them do it a dozen times. I've seen them do this a dozen times. Can they do it on the big day against the Melbourne Storm? Well, that remains to be seen, but...
Here's Cleary's kick from the sideline, coiling, and it's away. So 26-16.
This is brilliant from Luai. Brilliant, straight over the top. Mansour, good grab. Harvey Norman replay. But the Panthers will not die wondering here. I have seen them do this more than a dozen times. Chase down big leads in the last 15 minutes of games and come away with a win. Now, the Melbourne Storm are down to 12 men. And I'm repeating what I said in the first half. The score was unfair at half time. 22-0 was not a reflection of the action. Now at 26-16, it's game on. Panthers only had to save one of those tries in the first half. And look at the Melbourne Storm. They're not keen about this. They're very nervous, Bradley.
Yeah, and they've gone to the bench, the Panthers. Isaiah Yeo has gone on for Kurt Capel, I think. I think it was Kurt Capel that came off. Isaiah Yeo gives you the chance to attack from your own end. Really runs the middle of the Panthers with their direction. He'll be in tackle 2 or 3. Watch him.
Well, strap yourself in here because they've got plenty of trick shots. They will keep moving the ball.
It's got to be a good set for them. 2 forward plays, 2 forward runs. Now, Mansour, try scorer. Yeo takes his turn again. Cleary, almost halfway. Faultless so far. Luai coming out to kick out. Stays there in support, Luai. Goes back to the middle. Cleary makes a burrowing run. Luai will fall into place for the kick. He's with it now. Left foot kick, Luai. Down towards Papenhousen, who's going to take it in goal.
I think they probably needed to run that while they had the momentum. Now Storm can slow it down. Cameron Smith deliberately drops the ball and saunters back towards the middle.
Brad Fittler spoke about the big southerly. You got the wind wrong then, Luai.
Watch out for one-on-one steals here. They'll be looking for the ball. And Melbourne Storm are now in protection mode.
So Vunivalu. Finucane. Familiar plays from Melbourne. Just keeping it close to the chest. And here's Kafusi. Halfway line. Brandon Smith. 40-metre line. Penrith end of the ground. 10-point ball game now. Welch. And Smith finding Papenhousen, who puts it high. And knock on by Edwards. Advantage Melbourne. 0 tackle. Brandon Smith. Cameron Munster.
That's a big moment right there. Storm with 12 men here. If they can score, it's over. They are premiers.
Papenhousen. Did want him to be involved. 10 metres out. 15 in from the eastern side. Bromwich, Ken. Under 5 minutes, 4.5 to go in the grand final. Welsh. Melbourne looking to win their 4th premiership. Here's a kick by Papenhousen. Oliver's after it. Edwards wins the race and takes it dead.
Good play. Steady play. I'd imagine the Cleary will look for a short drop out here. This might be their last throw of the dice here, the Panthers. Short drop out. It's a good one, but Vunivalu diffuses it quickly. Nice and controlled here from the Melbourne Storm. The Panthers were coming after them, but it looks like they've diffused it.
Taking it towards centre ground. 26-16. Under 4 minutes to go for Welch. Couple of metres away from the line. Finucane wound up, but just ran a decoy. Now Brandon Smith. Melbourne slowing it right down. And here's a short ball from Smith. This time to Finucane. It went forward.
All up. Shot clock on.
And Panthers race to the middle of the field to pack the scrum. There'll be 3 minutes left by the time they win possession here. They've got to score 2 tries.
What's the order here?
And if they fail here, they'll think back to that first half and giving away that big lead. They've won the second half 16-4.
Yeah. Okay, shot clock off. Watch your strip, Scotty. Time on.
So Brian, stay with us for the post-match show as we break down all the big moments and, of course, the announcement of the 2 squads for New South Wales and Queensland to start doing their State of Origin battle on Wednesday week. Luai for Crichton taken by Lee and Kafusi. Ball came out. It's gone to Luai again. Then to Cleary. He gets it away to Leota. Leota away to Martin. Martin on to Naden. Naden, he'll play the ball inside the 40-metre line.
Way back to the other side. They're all lined out again.
So here we go again, out through Edwards. This is Cleary. Now Luai, jammed up by Brinko Lee. He's able to get a ball away, though. It's gone to Kickoff. He strides out of a tackle. He's pulled down 28 metres out. Penrith trying to pull off a miraculous finish as Cleary goes away. Edwards with the ball. Naden now. And Naden will play it 12 metres out from the line.
A kick for Crichton.
2 minutes of the game remaining. Edwards, his Cleary stepping. They shut him down. It's gone back to Yeo. Now Coruscant shaping to kick, and now he does. It needs to sit down for Penrith. It does. But Papenhousen's got the ball. A drop out for Melbourne.
No, they just keep coming, the youngsters. Melbourne Storm hanging on. Look at the Storm players. Hands on hips and hands on knees, bent over, trying to suck in oxygen. Panthers finishing full of running.
They'll use every second of the shot clock here.
Stay behind it, Justin.
Well, a minute 15, there's just not enough time for 2 tries.
So Leota crossing the 30-metre line. 1 minute left of the grand final. Melbourne, a 10-point leader. As Edwards takes it up to the 10-metre line. Six more tackles is called. It's probably, in fact, almost certainly irrelevant now as Luai floats a ball out to Leota and he's taken by Brandon Smith's low tackle. Here's Fisher Harris, the minor premiers, with 25 seconds of the season remaining.
Time off. Go.
It's a sin bin for Brandon Smith. A professional foul.
That's professional.
On the Melbourne utility player. They're going to finish the grand final with 11.
And it's another premiership.
Here's Cleary looking for the line, and he makes it! Cleary has reached out and planted the ball. And indicating, I fancy, that he's not taking the kick.
Yeah, they'll get one play. Look at this, 26-20. And you think about that first half. Now the Melbourne Storm are going to have to kick off. Harvey Norman replay. Cleary does it all himself. He's not taking, he's declined to kick a goal, so Melbourne Storm will have to kick off. The Panthers have to score on one play against an 11-men defensive line for the Melbourne Storm. One play.
Geez, that's a try. That's a try in a big game.
Yep.
Well, Gus, you've always been of the belief that they'll never give up. They'll come home over the top.
No, that's what the club was built on. Train hard, play hard, never give up. And they've always done it. He knows Craig Bellamy. He knows how close they've come to losing this game. And they still might lose it. But the Panthers have got to have a Hail Mary. One play, 3 seconds, 100 metres against 11 men.
That's a big Hail Mary.
It's a massive Hail Mary.
Time you run.
But they've won the second half 20-4. And what might have been if the first half went a different way.
So there it goes off the boot of Smith. Bouncing it away to Edwards. They have to score on this play. Fisher Harris lofting the ball over. They found Luai. He then goes to Crichton. He gets it away to Kickoff. Kickoff gets it away to Cleary. It's gone away now to Fisher Harris. He gets it on. Numbers out to the right. Martin comes back to the middle and it's intercepted. The Eagle has landed. Melbourne have won it.
Challenges.
Melbourne have won it. 26-20, the final score. They win their 4th premiership. The Storm, the squad, now becomes a sea of purple. The reserves and other members of the club come on down. Well, they've become the grand final professionals. This was their 10th grand final in 23 years against a minor premier that was dominant in winning the J.J. Giltinan Shield. But Lady Luck wasn't kind to the Panthers tonight. Not too many people would argue with that. Melbourne players embracing. Justin Olam there from Papua New Guinea. He joins an illustrious group of his countrymen in winning a grand final tonight. Neville Costigan, David Westley, Marcus Bai. They know how Justin Olam feels, and you people in PNG, you'd be celebrating with him. Vunivalo, the Fijian, on the ground. Well, what a match. Big leaders, the Storm, early on with a penalty try. Melbourne Storm, 26, have beaten the Penrith Panthers 20 in the grand final of 2020. Bouncing it away to Edwards. They have to score on this play. Numbers out to the right. Martin comes back to the middle and it's intercepted. The Eagle has landed. Melbourne have won it. Melbourne have won it. 26-20, the final score. But Lady Luck wasn't kind to the Panthers tonight.
Good evening and welcome to the Telstra Premiership post-match ceremony here at ANZ Stadium. What an incredible match of rugby league we witnessed tonight to complete the NRL season of 2020. And congratulations to both the Penrith Panthers and the Melbourne Storm on their performance tonight. On stage with me, Peter Vlandis AM, the Chairman of the Australian Rugby League Commission, and Andrew Abdo, Chief Executive Officer of the National Rugby League. They join us tonight to thank our long-standing naming rights partner in Telstra for their unwavering support for over 20 years. Thank you very much to our passionate and loyal fans, and thank you to every player and official that has been involved in the season of 2020 It's certainly been a season like no other. I would like to acknowledge tonight too our match officials. A big thank you to referee Gerard Sutton and the touch judges Chris Butler and Todd Smith. But now it is time to find out who our player of the match is, who receives the prestigious Clive Churchill Medal from his coach tonight. From the Melbourne Storm, congratulations, Ryan Papenhousen.
Oh, this is unbelievable. I don't know, I'm pretty speechless. I got pretty emotional after the game, but first of all, thanks to the boys. It's been a bloody tough year. We didn't know where we were going. We were sitting on the tarmac at Bankstown Airport and we didn't have a clue where we were going, and we just stuck together. We overcome and adapted and we got here. So thanks to the boys. Thanks to Telstra and the NRL for keeping the season going. It looked really bad at some stages, but thanks, Peter. Thank you for getting the game going. You're really strong, and we're really grateful for that. And it's been a great year, being able to play with the GOAT. And these boys, again, outstanding. Thanks, Penrith. You guys are really good. 17 in a row is an unbelievable achievement. So well done to you guys. And thanks to our fans who stuck strong. Especially our ones back in Victoria. It's a tough time back there at the moment, and we wear the V on our jersey proudly, and can't wait to go back there and celebrate with you guys. So thank you.
Well done, Ryan. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, your Clive Churchill medalist from the Melbourne Storm, Ryan Papenhousen. A gallant performance from the Penrith Panthers tonight, despite that big deficit, being able to take this one right down to the wire. I'd like to invite to the stage captain of the runners-up from the Penrith Panthers, James Tarmo, to say a few words.
Yeah, wow, it's unreal. First of all, Peter Vlanders and the Project Apollo crew, obviously all their hard work they've done behind closed doors to get the game back up and running. Special mention to the Warriors boys, obviously their sacrifice, and the Storm boys having to move as well away from families. And congratulations to the Storm boys, Craig, Cameron, mate, everything, the last decade you've showed how it's been done. So, mate, our sponsors, Oak, Hertz and Allen Property, we appreciate all the work that you guys do as well. To our fans, mate, stick with these guys. They're young. There's all a learning curve for them, so stick with them. We appreciate your support throughout the year. To the boys, man, the brothers. Like I said, there's all a learning curve for you. You've got such careers ahead of you. I'm 31. I'm still learning off you guys. So, mate, they'll be a successful team. Ive, Ciro, Baz, all the coaching staff, all their work behind closed doors as well. But boys, hold your heads high. You've done it all year. There's no reason to do it again. Unfortunately, I won't be there, but I'll be watching. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well done, James, and congratulations on a great year with the Panthers. Of course, James's final game with Penrith tonight. I'd like to welcome back to the stage the Melbourne Storm coaching Craig Bellamy to present the premiership rings to the NRL Premiers, starting with the fullback, Ryan Papenhousen. Suliasi Vunivalu. Brenko Lee. Justin Olam. Josh Adokar. Cameron Munster. Jerome Hughes. Christian Welch.
You're the man, bro. Thanks for everything, eh? Thanks, man. Thank you. Thanks, man. Thank you.
Jesse Bromwich.
Thanks so much for the people down the hall, mate.
Come on up, Christian. Felice Kafusi. Kenny Bromwich. Nelson Asofa Solomona. The block of cheese, Brandon Smith. Tino Fasua Malaawi. Dal Finucane. Nico Hines. And the old fella, the captain, Cameron Smith. Skipper, the microphone is all yours, Cam.
Yeah, thank you. Firstly, a really big thank you to Ivan and James and the rest of the Penrith squad for a fantastic game tonight, boys. We got out to a good lead there, but as all champion teams do, they hang in and fight back, and you did that. And I don't know, I'm just glad that clock ran out in the end, because you showed why you've been on top of the competition all season, and 17 consecutive wins in this competition, the best rugby league competition in the world, is a fantastic effort. So thank you very much for the game tonight, and all the very best next year. Hope you do well again. Big thank you to Peter and Andrew and your team back at head office for getting the competition going again. Everyone at the NRL and Telstra, both broadcasters, for putting the faith in our administration and getting all the players back on the field and getting this competition going again. Really big thank you to all the fans. I know early on it didn't look great, and I'm not just talking about Melbourne Storm fans here. I'm talking about all the fans of every team in our competition, to get back and stay strong and support your team throughout a very, very difficult season for everyone. I'd just like to thank quickly too all of the players throughout this competition. There's been many challenges to get through day to day and get through every week and play these matches, but you've done a fantastic job, and you should be proud of what we've been able to achieve this year. Not only yourselves, but all your families as well. It's been a huge sacrifice, but we've got through it, and we've got through to the end. So thank you very much, everyone. A big thank you to our organisation and our sponsors, Red Z, Suzuki, Host Plus, Grilled, and all of our minor sponsors. Thank you for backing us in what's been, I know, a hard year for yourselves as well. All of our administration too, back home, been doing it really tough, but you put a lot of faith and belief in us, and you got us through, and it's just been a remarkable effort. Lastly, to our squad, to all of our coaches, and in particular all of our families who have been through a lot this year. They're just over there. We haven't been in our house, we haven't been in our homes for 5 months, we haven't slept in our own beds for 5 months. And in the last 80 days, we've been out of our resort, or we've been out of our accommodation twice. But we've turned up every day with a great attitude. We've turned up every day being resilient and wanting to get better and wanting to get here tonight and win it all, and we've done it. So thank you very much, firstly, to our families for the great sacrifice you've made. And a huge congratulations to all of our players over here, many of them haven't played a single game of rugby league this year. That's what we live for. That's what our dreams are made of. We want to play in the weekend. But these fellas over here, they train hard every day, every week to help this squad get here tonight and play well. And congratulations, guys. Lastly, fellas, this 2020 season, it's one like no other. And what we've been able to achieve tonight, we'll never forget it. We'll remember it for the rest of our lives. And a big congratulations to everyone, particularly the boys that are celebrating their first premiership. Hold on to that forever, boys. And lastly, before I go, this big V on my jersey, on our jersey, this is who we're playing for. Everyone back home in Victoria. This one's for you, you beauty!
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2020 NRL premiers, the Melbourne Storm.